Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. Maybe. We're going to talk about Disney's attendance in their theme parks. Apparently it's down, and now they are scrambling to make announcements about either expanding the parks or building a new theme park.
I'm assuming because, Josh D'Amaro basically said he promised that D23 this year in August is going to have big announcements that are more than the Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Now, Magic Kingdom we know is Beyond Thunder Mountain, and Animal Kingdom is the new Tropical Americas.
Thing. Which looks like a mishmash of IP.
It's all, you said it, mishmash IP. That's pretty much what you're going to get.
Yeah. So let's talk about this because they are staring down the barrel of a gun, and that would be Epic Universe. Epic Universe. This is the preview center, and they've got a model for Epic Universe, which looks absolutely freaking amazing. And this is something that Disney would have done 25, 30 years ago. And I'm super excited. I'm actually more excited, I think, about Dark Universe than I am Nintendo, because it's something that's unique to the park, and I always love really well themed, unique theme park experiences. And it looks really cool. The haunted house looks really cool. So we'll talk about this because a lot of people are, I think, potentially holding off on trips to Orlando because they want to go to Epic Universe next year.
That could be.
So before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
I think we have to walk it back a little bit. All the media outlets are talking about how Disney is greenlit for a 5th Orlando theme park after they worked out their differences with the state of Florida. They apparently, they can open a 5th gate and a couple of water parks. And something.
Basically they said, I guess in their plan that they had gotten approved, whatever, it mentions that potentially a 5th gate and 2 mini gates, mini parks.
Yeah. Now this is something that people
hotels, yes.
And hotels. Of course we've got hotels and restaurants and all this other stuff and stores, lots and lots of stores. So this is something that people have been talking about for a while. They're like, hey, Disney needs to open a proper 5th gate, which would be a 5th theme park. And
what was the one thing people kept wanting?
Villains.
And interestingly, in the Beyond Thunder Mountain original, the stuff they showed in D23 a couple years ago, where everybody made fun of them for not having any announcements, it's blue sky. They look like a villains land in the background. Well, since then, people have said that they're not really putting the villains there. So I'm like, could they open a small area, mini park, full gate that's villains themed, which also applies to their IP rules.
Yeah.
Everything has to be IP'd. Well, that'd be one easy way to get a lot of IP'd villains into one place.
Yeah, it would be. Except for the voodoo villains. Can't have that. But so everybody's running with this. There's a new Disney theme park on the horizon. They're making it out like it's definitely
gonna happen. Hasn't been a definitive thing.
The agreement that they have with the Central Florida Tourism Oversight Board, is that what it is?
District. You almost had it. You got all the last one. I was so proud. I was like, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. And you got to the last one, you dropped it.
Reedy Creek 2.0. The deal that they have with them included hotel rooms and the possibility of a 5th gate. Now, a lot of Disney fans will tell you they don't even know, even though Disney has all that acreage, they don't know if there's enough room for a 5th gate.
That's what people talked about for years, because people have been asking Disney to put a 5th gate in, and they kept the story was there wasn't enough room.
There wasn't enough room because of the way that they have it laid out, and they built Epcot so far from Magic Kingdom, and you've got all the infrastructure there, and people don't realize that just because you go to the theme park doesn't mean they have enough room for a whole bunch of theme parks, because they effectively have a city, and they have all the support buildings, and they have all that stuff, spread all out throughout the property. And then they have some wetlands, I guess, for conservation and stuff like that. So, that's why Epcot and Hollywood are back to back, because it's kind of because originally Hollywood was supposed to be part of Epcot. The Great Movie Ride was supposed to be a pavilion in Epcot. And they just kind of build them back to back. And Animal Kingdom's off.
Which is kind of nice, though, because you can walk from both. You can walk from Epcot to Hollywood Studios and back.
Yeah, I mean, the other possibility is, and this would be really sleazy of Disney, is they actually build Beyond Thunder Mountain as another park on the other side of Magic Kingdom.
Well, that's possible because they have room for 2 mini ones. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, you want to go to Beyond Thunder Mountain, you got to pay extra, because that's a whole nother separate land. But so everybody's running with this now. They're going to do it. But here's Josh D'Amaro, who's in charge of the parks now. He said that they're going to make some announcements at D23 that are not the Magic Kingdom and not the Animal Kingdom announcements. So
he teased it. So yeah, we won't know until August, but supposedly they're going to make some announcements about Walt Disney World.
Yes.
Specifically, but aren't part of the Big Thunder Mountain expansion or the Tropical Americas area that's coming. That does not mean that they won't say, here's some new announcements for Epcot. Like,
here's a new experience.
I say maybe they're going to, yeah, I know, right? It's a meet and greet. Maybe they're going to finally fix Strange Imagination, but I doubt it. They'll ruin it before they fix it. Or something like, with Hollywood Studios, or maybe they're going to announce what they're going to do with that stupid Galactic Star Cruiser hotel. It could be a lot of things. We don't know that. But there's a good chance, because Epic Universe is breathing down their necks, that they might announce something big, because they kind of have to.
Yeah, I think with Disney stock being where it's at now, it's up a little bit right now, but it's still hovering around $100 a share, which isn't good. And yeah, if they're going to compete, they're going to have to make a huge announcement. And I'm sorry, the Central America, South America, whatever IP mishmash.
It's all IP. It's all about IP.
Yeah, that's not really that big of a deal. I don't think that.
So help me God, the Inside Out during Imagination, I'm going to put a foot up someone's ass.
It depends on how it does at the box office.
Because that was one of the rumors, was they were going to take During Imagination and retheme it to Inside Out, and then put Figment in there as like one of their imaginary friends. I'm like, for the love of God, just bring Dreamfinder, proper Dreamfinder back and Figment back and call it a day. But they won't, because Bob Iger is all about IP.
Well, you want to do Inside Out? You've got Body Wars.
They didn't end up using the Wonders of Light. They were supposed to put a Pixar play in there, and they never did.
No, so this is the thing. Like, just because Disney announces something at D23, how much stuff have they announced at past D23s?
And they didn't do it.
That they didn't do. Even Epcot, the version of Epcot that we're seeing now, that they have this big blue sky plan for Epcot. It's a very budget cut version of what was announced, and now we got like pole dancers in the park, and they didn't build that big pavilion they were going to build.
No, they have their new Communicore Hall and Plaza, which opened today actually, and I think that was their scaled down version of it. But okay, there's another problem too, though. So even if Disney would, for shits and giggles, we can argue that they announced a fifth gate. How long is it going to take them to build that? Because it takes them 5, 6, 7 years. It's taken them 7 years to fix the Epcot, to finish Epcot stuff. 7 years. And it was just like, a lot of it was just like Moana walkthrough, that kind of stuff. It wasn't any big attractions. It was just, moving the store and adding Communicore Hall when they already had Communicore stuff there, like the buildings for Interventions. And they did all that. It took them 7 years. And that wasn't even for rides. Tron Coaster took like
five or 6 years.
At least. Guardians took like about 6 or 7 years, didn't it? Yeah. Because it was 17, so to 22, so 5 or 6 years. And the pandemic was in there too, but it wasn't. They weren't down that long in Florida, so that's a load of shit. Takes some years. I saw people joking. They said my kid's a baby now, so by the time they're 25, they'll probably have another gate open, another park open, because they take so damn long to do anything at Disney.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's no immediate threat to Universal, because even if they announce that they're going to add on to Magic Kingdom or whatever, we're talking 5 to 10 years minimum. Like, it's so weird. Like, we're watching the how Disney built America, and the speed at which they built Magic Kingdom and the Contemporary Hotel, and how Roy Disney just kind of took control of it from the construction company, because he's like, it's taken too long. And now Disney, it takes them forever to do anything. When did they announce Epic Universe? It wasn't that long ago. It was just a couple of years ago.
No, it was before the pandemic. But they got held up. They still worked during the pandemic. So I think it was like 2019?
Maybe it was, yeah.
So it was 5 years. But that's a whole park, as opposed to, a ride.
Yeah. Yeah, and this looks, it looks amazing. This is something that Disney would have built 25, 30 years ago, and they just don't have it in them anymore. They really don't. Well, a lot of the Imagineers that worked on, or a lot of the people that worked on this, I don't know what they call them at Universal, but they came from Disney. A lot of these people came from Disney. Universal poached them to work on Hogwarts, and they got some of the best Imagineers that Disney had. And we know what Imagineering is like now. See Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We'll talk more about that in another video, but I don't think there's any threat at Disney of beating Universal at this point.
So this picture, if you start with the left-hand side and go around, you have Wizarding World first, and And then it's part of that hub area with the Celestial, and then you have How to Train Your Dragon over there. And then over on the other side, you have the Mario. Yep. And then down here, you have the Universal Monsters. Yeah, the monsters I'm the most excited about, the Dark Universe. I think it looks really, really cool. And the Celestial part, too. Because, again, these are things like Disney used to do this. It used to actually put things in the park that weren't based on IP. It was just, pure imagination from their people, and it was something that you could only get in the park. And I know people got really excited. That's why I'm not too worried about Disney anyway, because like Josh D'Amaro was teasing Figment, and what was it, like a meet and greet? Yeah, it was a meet and greet. All that like build up, everybody's like, oh yes, Figment's coming back, we're gonna get a new ride, it's gonna be amazing. It's like, oh yeah, we got a meet and greet coming, and then he falls on his ass half the time anyway, because the costume kind of sucks. But he kept tripping in the tunnel and stuff. Yeah, couldn't see. But they're saying that attendance is down. Yes, which I'm not surprised by, because I've heard from many different sources that they said the parks were pretty empty off and on. But yeah, now this is like actual proof that it was down. Yeah, this is coming from Click Orlando. They said Orange County's tourist tax collections see largest % drop since pandemic. Early spring break and Easter affect collections. Now, usually that is one of the busiest times for Orlando, right? Like you go down during spring break, and God, it's awful. I went down one time to do a media event with your parents, and we couldn't find a hotel room to save our lives. Yeah. Like we were down there early, and we're like, oh, we need to just find a hotel somewhere in Orlando. We need to find a hotel for an extra night, not at Disney. And we couldn't find one because everybody was down there for spring break. Yeah, it said that according to a press release from the comptroller, $30.3 million was collected in April, which was down nearly 10%. Or $3.3 million from April of 2023. It's the biggest decrease since February of 2021, which was the pandemic. We haven't seen a drop like that in a while, and I hope it's a one-time thing, and I hope that's because March was so good that it took some of April's business. They said in March they had $40.6 million. It was one of the highest monthly collections ever. Yeah, so maybe people just went earlier. But they said, yeah, you had people traveling earlier. Prices are a little bit higher, so there's that. You're going to have more taxes. They said this is 8 months out of 10 months where the numbers have been down. It's just a little slower and a little slumber because last year was just so good, and it's hard to stay at that level forever. Because people are getting tired of Disney, and they're also tired of the fact that the prices keep increasing. Yes. And people in the last year have had their food prices increase and other, necessities increase exponentially. They don't have the money to drop it at Disney. I think a lot of people are just tired of Disney. I think that is definitely hurting them. I mean, people keep trying to say like, well, Disney's not political, and it's a small percentage of right wingers that don't like it. I think people are quietly voting with their wallets, and they're saying, you know what? We're not going to go to Disney because we don't believe in Disney anymore. Even if it's not political, it's just the whole expense. The quality's not there. The price is high. And the price is too high. It's not, the Disney difference doesn't mean what it used to mean. No, now they're having a big press hoedown, which we'll talk about in another video right now. We're not invited, of course, not anymore. No, but that's okay, because if you go back, you're allowed to just walk back all your negative opinions, and you can play ball again. But I think they're desperate. I think this is why we're seeing people like Jenny Nicholson turn on them now, because it's the general public is fed up with Disney. Yeah, we made it safe. We made it safe. So there you go, guys. We took all the hits so you guys can reap all the benefits. You're welcome. We're going to wrap this up. Yep. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later. Bye.